Mwanzilishi wa kampuni ya AMITRUCK ambaye inahusika na mambo ya usafirishaji barabarani, au vipi Mwangi? Karibu sana, karibu sana. Kwa hivyo mtazamaji, na kusihi usiondoke, kaa nasi hadi tamati wakati tunaenda kuongea na Mwangi ili atuelezee kidogo kuhusu mambo ya usafirishaji barabarani. Ni nini, inahusu nini?
So AMITRUCK is a digital platform that clients can come and get reliably get conveniently priced deliveries done. So on one side of the platform we have people who need transport, and on the other side of the platform we have transport providers, so people who want vehicles or fleets. And we basically, the platform just connects them both and allows them to transact.
So kama ninakuelewa vizuri, ni kama tu mambo ya kutumia mitandao, kutumia internet, kutumia teknolojia ya kisasa ili kufanya kazi ya usafirishaji barabarani na mambo ya safari.
That's correct. Technology makes it very easy to take quite an untidy, difficult problem such as logistics and tidy it up. And one of the things that we had noticed when we set up AMITRUCK was the fact that there were a lot of middlemen, and some of them can be very expensive. In some instances, the middlemen when a delivery is done can be as many as 3, and they can take as much as 40 or 50% of the delivery cost.
Kwa nini? Mbona yani hao watu wa middlemen au watapeli wanatoka wapi, na mbona wanaruhusiwa kuingilia kati biashara ya kibinafsi ambayo mtu umejikaza kujikakamua kufanya?
What these brokers do and the way they work is they have an information advantage. Wanajua kitu ambayo client ajui. So wanajua gari iko wapi na wanajua client yuko wapi. So wakiwa connect, wanachukua pesa hapo katikati. So what this application of AMITRUCK does is it allows the transporter to talk directly to the client. And therefore the client doesn't feel like he's paid too much, and the transporter doesn't think he's been paid too little. So it's just a way to digitally transact in transport.
So kama mimi nina gari na wewe ni mteja wangu, nataka nikusafirishie bidhaa fulani. So tunaongea na nyinyi AMITRUCK ili mtuunganishe au vipi?
Okay, so maybe we should have been clear. So AMITRUCK is a platform, there's a website and there's an app. If you want a delivery done, you go on the platform, you tell us where you want it to go. It can be as many places as you want. So unaweza sema chukua mzigo industrial area, enda Madara, enda Nyeri, enda Kisumu. Unaweza sema nataka boda, nataka van, nataka pickup, all the way to a trailer. And you can even tell us what type. And then you tell us the date. And you even take the value of the goods, so we insure them. We take all that information and we send to all the drivers who can do that job. They send prices back to you on the platform. But the trick there is they can see each other's prices. So it's very transparent, and that brings the cost to a competitive price. And you as a client, you can then choose your driver depending on the rating other customers has given him, his price, and the number of trips he's experienced. And then you pick him and he goes and does the work. Akimaliza, kwa app yake atasema nimemaliza. Whereas the client, unaangalia app yako, inakuuliza please confirm this delivery was done. Ukifinya umeconfirm, driver analipo hapo.
Sasa asante sana kwa kutuelezea mengi kuhusu vipi hiyo teknolojia inafanya kazi. Sasa tuongelelee vijana, tuongee juu ya vijana ambao wanataka kuingia katika biashara. Hivi majuzi nimeongelesha vijana wachache tu ambao ningeweza kuwafikia, na nikauliza ni nini ambayo inabadilisha maisha yenu kwa sasa. Wakasema mambo ya teknolojia, technology, tech, YouTube, nini, how to make money through using technology. Na wewe umefaulu katika sekta hiyo. You have tried utilizing the technology in order to make a business for yourself. How can you advise? Unaweza advise aje vijana ndio kusudi waelewe vile ama waingie katika ulingo huo pia ya hiyo biashara ya teknolojia?
I guess there's two things. The first one is with AMITRUCK, we obviously help all these pickup owners, truck owners bike owners to get work, because we legitimize, we advertise for clients, the clients ask for work, we pass it on to them. So in a way, there's a social impact in creating employment on the app. As a founder, Mwenye Biashara, I'll say that it's definitely not easy, but it can be very rewarding to work for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you have an idea, I would encourage that you start. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't think about all the issues you'll have. It's normal for it to be difficult, but uanze, alafu uone. Just day by day.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be my advice.
You would encourage the youth to try and use the technology currently kusudi iwasaidie kimaisha na kujifaidisha, kujinufaisha. How would you tell them?
I think, like I just said, just start. Write down your business plan. Think what sort of technology platform you want to do, or what sort of technology business you want to get into. There's still a lot of opportunity in Kenya. E-commerce is a baby in this country.
Yes.
I think it's only something like 0.25% of goods sold online at the moment. In other countries, it can be as high as 40 or 50%.
Okay.
So the opportunity to do things digitally really is real, and I think it's something that Kenya can tap into.
Okay.
I also think that we can benefit as a country because of the transparency and the trust that technology brings, because there's always a digital footprint of what has happened. So you can look at transactions with M-Pesa, you can see who paid who. If you look at something like AMITRUCK, you can see whose price is whose price and who got paid by who. So that just helps with transparency and with building trust in the business, in business and in community in general.
Okay. Sasa ni vitu gani ambavyo vijana wanafaa kuconsider wakitaka kuanzisha biashara, wakitaka kuanzisha biz? What are the do's and don'ts?
Definitely the biggest don't is not to start. I think that's the biggest mistake. The do's are to think of a problem that is actually hurting people or hurting someone. So if you can solve a real problem in the marketplace, then you will find that there's a business. So for example, with AMITRUCK, the problem was transport is expensive because of middlemen. Transport is expensive because of lack of transparency. And once you find a vehicle, are your goods safe? And are they secure? So what the platform does, it solves those three problems. It's a reliable source of transport, it's competitively priced, and your goods are safe. So that was sort of as an example of what to do. So maybe there's a problem out there that you can just attack and see how you can do it as efficiently as possible by taking advantage of the technology we have today.
Kwa sababu vijana wengi saizi wako kwenye mtandao, they're not using this technology to satisfy. Wanaitumia tu kwa mambo ya social issues, wanataka tu kufanya celebrity, kuslay, unajua kuslay,
entertainment, slay queens.
Yeah. So unajua ni vizuri sana kama vijana wangetumia nafasi hii ili kujiimarisha kimaisha,
But in Nairobi, my experience so far has been that, or at least in Kenya, we are even called we're called the Savannah Silicon Valley.
Really?
Yes, because we're known for being up there with South Africa and Nigeria as a place where tech founders are starting very many businesses. And if you look around at companies such as, Synergy, you look at companies such as Sky Garden, Jumia, there's all the IR accelerators. There's a lot of support out there for people who want to start up. I think the only place where there's a small challenge is capital. So to find capital can be a bit difficult, but with the right idea, you'll find backers.
Ndio tumekuwa tukipata nafasi ambazo zinatolewa na serikali. Kama juzi imelaunch Stawi. Wanaambia vijana kujeni mchukue hizi pesa. Mimi naona wewe bado una umri mdogo, labda tu nakujaji kutoka kwa sura, labda umejiweka vizuri, unapendeza, lakini nauliza tu swali moja, ni kwamba je, hao vijana wanaweza fanya vipi kusudi wapate hizi nafasi za kuchukua hizi pesa?
So you have to almost try and find out what it is the money is set aside for. And if you think if it's specifically for the youth and you qualify, the first thing you have to do is apply. And I think the problem is probably people don't apply. So if you see something like an accelerator, or you see something like what you're discussing, which is a grant, then absolutely the first thing that the young people need to do is to take advantage of the opportunity to apply. And then once you do that, and also understanding that your application is done within the criteria required within the grant, or the criteria required by the accelerator you're trying to get into, find out what they deal in, and see if your idea fits in with that. And then you apply.
Do you think hao watu ambao wanatoa hizi hela, kama ni serikali au mabenki, je, are they setting the standards too high ndo vijana wasipate hizi hela au vipi? Kwa maoni yako tu.
From what I've seen at the moment, most of the capital that is being invested in startups in Kenya is actually foreign. It's not actually Kenyan. So there's a bit of a disconnect between the people with the capital and where the businesses are. So it's very difficult for your typical business startup in Nairobi to get in touch with a venture capitalist if most of them are in the US. And as a local, we don't seem to have the appetite to invest in startups like you do globally. It's there, but it's not as aggressive as, say, the US or Europe. So there are some accelerators now beginning to focus on Africa, and those you can talk to. There are some venture capital firms that are beginning to look and speak about Africa, and you can speak to those. But even the big ones, this transaction sizes they want to do may not accommodate an absolutely early stage business in Kenya. So that's a challenge, but it's a normal challenge to have that for a startup. Everybody who started a business, you know, a startup is not just tech. Any new business is a startup. And anybody who's ever started a business knows that challenge of how to finance it, how to grow it, how to market it, these are normal challenges. So I would not let it stop me from starting.
I was only asking in terms of tech, because wewe mwenyewe uko katika huo nini ya tech. Si ndio? So nilikuwa nataka tu labda utuelezee from your point of view, kuwa ukitaka kuanzisha biashara in a technical point of view, ukitaka kuingia katika hiyo sekta ya technology na unataka kuanzisha biashara hiyo, ni nini vitu ambavyo unafaa kuzingatia, or what are some of the things that you need to consider?
Okay, so I think we already mentioned one, which is you find a real problem and help people solve it. If you can do that, for certain, you'll have a business. So if you look at something like Google, you know, Google said, I want to organize all the information in the world. That was a few years ago now, but now they're one of the biggest businesses in the world. And it's a similar thing. Once you know that this is the problem I want to solve, you then decide, who do I want to solve it with. I think it's a good idea to have someone else to help you, like a co-founder. Ideally, someone who can also help with the technology side. Maybe one person looks after the business side. And then together now you start. And then I think through that process of starting and trying to solve the problem, talking to your potential customers, you slowly begin to understand the problem even better. And as you transition through that process, most likely you'll find you've got a customer, and once you've got a customer, it's much easier to get your capital for funding. Yeah, so it's a bit of a chicken and egg. You have to start, but you want to start, and then once you get going, as you are learning, you begin to change your business so that it grows. Yes.
So any last word?
No, thank you very much for having us. We appreciate coming up and discussing startup life.
If someone was listening in and would like to talk to you, akuulize maswali machache, au anataka kufanya biashara kama hiyo, especially vijana, ama kama anataka kusaidika, kujifunza, kujilimisha, kumentor, ataweza kukupata vipi?
So we have our website, www.amitruck.com. On there, there's a customer care line. Please feel free to call us. We are also on Twitter at AMITRUCK, and on Facebook at AMITRUCK. So they are more than welcome to call. We are more than happy to help.
Asante. Kwa hivyo mtazamaji, umejisikia wewe mwenyewe, ni hivyo ndivyo kunaenda kwenye biashara. Usisubiri, wanasema makosa ni kutoanzisha biashara. Kwa hivyo jitose huko ndani, tumia teknolojia ya kisasa. Hata waajiri wanahimizwa siku ya leo na kampuni ya Microsoft waingie katika matumizi ya teknolojia ili kuboresha biashara yao. Asante sana kuungana nasi. Nimekuwa na wadha wako Sofia Aliamuhaya, na tulikuwa tunaungana na Mwangi wa AMITRUCK. Shukran.